My God, I hate drugs.
Presidential daughter and Davao City Mayor Inday Sara Duterte wants to join her father in his foreign trips to make sure the controversial kissing incident won't happen again. Last week, the president drew flack after he kissed a woman on the lips in front of an audience in South Korea. The kiss also sparked a word war between actress Kris and Communications Assistant Secretary Mocha. Speaking at the groundbreaking of the Davao Occidental Provincial Capital yesterday, Mayor Sara says she will now tag along with her father even if she has to spend her own money.
Pagka dungog na ko nga ing ato na pud ang iyahang gibuhat sa Korea, nakahuna-huna na gyud ko nga magpadala og sulat dinha sa Office of the President sa Presidential Management Staff. Can you please lang send me an invitation every time nga naamoy ing-ana ng mga events so as to make sure nga dili mag-away si Kris Aquino o si Mocha tungod kay PRD. Sa sunod, mugason ako kaugalingon akong kwarta, aron lang mapanigurado na wala na po'y mahalukan dinha.
President Donald Trump is optimistic ahead of Tuesday's landmark summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. His top priority for this meeting, the reclusive nation's nuclear disarmament. CNN's James Danan reports.
So it's a one-time shot, and I think it's going to work out very well.
President Trump has some high expectations for his upcoming summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un next week. Trump spoke to reporters in Canada Saturday as he was preparing to depart the G7 summit for the historic meeting in Singapore. When asked if he thought the reclusive leader was serious about the negotiations, Trump referenced his intuition that he says has made him a successful businessman.
I think within the first minute, I'll know. Just my touch, my feel, that's what I do. I think that very quickly I'll know whether or not something good is going to happen. I also think I'll know whether or not it will happen fast.
The on-again, off-again, on-again meeting is set for Tuesday and will be the first ever for a sitting U.S. president and a North Korean leader. Sources tell CNN that there is a plan in place for a possible second day of discussions should the first go well. Trump says he plans on bringing up every issue with Kim, including human rights violations. But number one on the list is denuclearization.
This is a leader who really is an unknown personality. I think that he's going to surprise on the upside. So we're going in with a very positive attitude, and I think we're going to come out fine. But I've said it many times. Who knows?
I'm James Dinan reporting.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has arrived in Singapore for the U.S.-North Korea summit. Kim was first greeted by Singapore's Minister of Foreign Affairs before traveling by motorcade to the St. Regis Hotel. Kim is due to meet with the Singapore Prime Minister today and with President Trump on Monday. President Trump is expected to arrive in Singapore tonight. Anthony Bourdain used food as a passport to understanding other cultures. Following news of his passing, we look at how he's being celebrated, remembered, and mourned. In New York, fans turned the restaurant where he shot to fame as a chef into a memorial. They taped tributes on the door and walls of the shuttered Brasserie Leal. Bourdain was a chef there in the 90s. They placed printouts of his pictures outside with messages and the hotline for a suicide prevention network. Colleagues also paid tribute on Instagram. CNN anchor Anderson Cooper posted Bourdain's photo, which he says hangs directly outside their control room in New York. His caption reads, quote, "Today we lost a friend, a travel companion who was always up for adventure and one of this country's greatest storytellers." CNN chief international correspondent Christiane Amanpour says her heart breaks for Bourdain. She describes him as a huge personality, giant talent, unique voice, and someone who is deeply, deeply human. Bourdain was found dead Friday in his hotel room in France. He was filming an episode for his popular CNN series Parts Unknown when he took his own life. He was 61 years old. Bourdain's death comes just 3 days after fashion designer Kate Spade died also of suicide. Now, suicide and depression have been thrust into the spotlight. Suicide prevention advocates encourage the public to reach out to their loved ones, especially those showing signs of or suffering from depression. Jean Goldburn of the Natasha Goldburn Foundation says the number of calls in their hotlines escalate every time there are high-profile suicide cases. She says they received 90 calls on Friday, more than double the normal 40 calls they receive daily. Goldburn lost a daughter to suicide in 2002. She has some reminders for those battling depression.
One of the most important things that we're being taught now is music therapy. Listening to music and journaling the feelings. So if you're sad, within 30 minutes of being able to write down your feelings, that's one of the biggest support and help. What's most important is mindfulness. It is the ability to be able to take 10 deep breaths, sit down in quiet, and just keep on breathing very, very slowly to remove the anxiety.
It's important to reach out to your loved ones, especially those who you think are suffering from depression and anxiety. Know there are people who can help. Don't hesitate to talk to someone, or you can pick up the phone and call the 24/7 Hope line. The numbers are flashed on your screen. Switching gears now, tropical cyclone Maliksi or Domeng has left the country this morning and is off the coast of Japan. But Weather Bureau Pag-asa says rains will persist tomorrow over the western section of Luzon and Visayas. That's as Domeng enhances the southwest monsoon. Pag-asa raised rainfall alerts for Cavite, Bataan, Batangas, and Laguna. This means flooding is possible in low-lying areas. Pag-asa also warns residents in Metro Manila, Rizal, and Quezon to expect rains. It says we may have better weather by Tuesday. The Quezon City government announced classes are suspended tomorrow in all levels, both public and in private schools. Still ahead, we take you to a restaurant in Manila that showcases food and history. We have this developing story. Hundreds of families flee homes due to offensives against ISIS-inspired groups in Maguindanao. The ARMM response team says more than 1,700 families from 5 barangays had to evacuate. 6th Infantry Division Commander Brigadier General Cirilito Sobejana says they conducted air and ground offensives against the Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters. They were able to destroy their explosives factory in southern Liguasan. The military says they will facilitate the immediate return of displaced families after clearing operations. We now speak to 6th ID Commander Brigadier General Cirilito Sobejana for the latest. General Sobejana, thank you for taking our call.
Yes, Maiga, good afternoon. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu.
General Sobejana, tell us more about these offensives. Ongoing pa po ba?
Yes, ma'am. We launched the air and ground operations early this morning, targeting ISIS-inspired groups, specifically those who are manufacturing IEDs that you have monitored lately that in place in top areas around central Mindanao.
May deadline po ba kayo as to when these offensives will continue at may mga casualties po ba sa offensives?
We don't set deadlines pa, but we will do it in a sustained manner. We will not stop until these lawless elements are neutralized. Prevent them once again of emplacing IEDs in the different parts of Mindanao. And as a result of the air and ground operations that we launched early this morning, until now, we have accounted for 15 confirmed dead, 8 were wounded, and 2 were captured.
Saan po, anong side po ang mga casualties, ang mga fatalities, sir? All from the BIFF?
Yes, from the BIFF, particularly the group, the ISIS-inspired group under Abu Turaife.
General Sobejana, can you tell us more about this explosives factory? Ano po ba ang mga na-recover dito sa factory na ito at what led to the discovery of this IED factory?
Well, we did a very thorough mission planning with due consideration to the safety of the civilians around and of course of the MILF community because we don't want na mabahiran itong ating peace agreement with the MILF. So with the reports coming from different sources, we were able to validate the exact location of the main IED factory of the group of Abu Turaife. That's why after that, confirming the information, validating all the information that we received, we immediately launched an air and ground operations, leading to the destruction of the main IED factory. And we recovered on-site some IED that had not exploded because there was a sympathetic detonation actually when the facility was hit by a rocket from our Air Force planes. And we also recovered substantial amount of IED components and some high-powered firearms.
Mm-hmm. General Sobejana, you said that you will facilitate the immediate return of displaced residents as soon as matapos ang clearing operations. Kamusta na po ang mga evacuees, sir?
You're right. Actually, katatapos nga lang ng meeting namin with the CCCH, AJAG, and with the IMT or the International Monitoring Team. So we agreed to convince all the IDPs or the internally displaced persons to immediately go back to the respective communities in close coordination with the concerned local government units.
All right, thank you for the update. Brigadier General Cirulito Sobejana, commander of the 6th Infantry Division, he was telling us about the offensives against ISIS-inspired groups in Maguindanao that has led to, forced hundreds of families to flee their homes. As of now, 15 are dead in the offensives as the military conducted air and ground offensives against the Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters, and that the military was able to destroy their explosives factory in southern Liguasan.